Hello. I'm going to talk about this iPad goat in relation to my newest painting from a month ago. Kind of, you know, I do a drawing, a painting, and then I'm like loyal to the painting. You know what I mean? No, maybe not, but so here we see the hammer on the substance. It's not hammer on a nail. No, but you see the same thing here in iPad Goat. And it's also like, it's so interesting because iPad Goat is infamous for predicting a future event in a very uncanny way. Yeah. And everyone knows about that. That's a fact. And what what I want to show you now is that, okay, we're going to see something very similar to this, or quite not exactly similar, but similar enough. And it also connects to this art in revolution thing, which I have shown. Like I'm talking about the art in revolution pin here in the middle, a video from 2 days ago. I have said that this connects to Soviet, the hammer and the sickle, and now you're going to see that, okay, the hammer and sickle is there in iPad Goat, but not only that, the hammer is sinking into a substance, just like you could say that my hammer here on September 16th is sinking into a substance like that, a black substance. In this case, it is a lime green substance in iPad Goat. And so just a quick recap, this video here, you should see it if you haven't seen it. It has to do with the year 1917, when this art in revolution, the Soviet art movement of revolution was propelled. It propelled the Soviet Revolution of 1917. So the year 1917 is significant both for art and revolution, which is finding Back to the Future. Back to the Future has to do with time travel. What I'm doing up here is a sort of time travel. Oh, okay. I'm not going to talk too much about that because no one wants, like, you're going to intellectually throw up for what I'm saying. You're going to intellectually feel like, oh, this is just too much. Okay, and yes, it is. Like, what I'm doing here is too much. But again, all I did was to do a painting. That's all. And then I'm looking at what's happening. And it all makes sense. It all makes sense. So first of all, most people are truthers. That's I don't want to talk too much about this right now. I'll just get to the point. I'll get to the point. Where is it? The time of, here it is. So here you see the hammer and the sickle. Here is the sickle. You see? The sickle and the hammer. So you see the hammer and the sickle, which has to do with the art in revolution, the Soviet connection that I've been talking about in my video also. And you can see all of this is connecting in a beautiful, horrific way. In a beautiful, horrific way. In that you don't really want it to make sense, what I'm saying, but it does. It has all the hallmarks of validity. First of all, I've been talking about the news in the world news. I've been doing a how do you say, geopolitical analysis of the world stage, what is happening, and I see something going on. Then also I connected to the art in revolution, looked at the origin, found connections to Red October, and the Red October of the socialist revolution, but also the Red October of the nuclear submarine in the hunt for Red October. And now we see iPad Goat having this encoded also, not identical. No, it's not a black substance. It's a lime green substance. Oh no. I don't know what to say. But still, it is a substance that the hammer is falling into. And yeah, so what's the chance of that considering everything else that I've been showing you? Like, what's the chance of this? And like, feel free to check what I've been saying about the origin of this art in revolution here. 1917, Soviet, connecting to the art genre called Russian futurism, which propelled the socialist revolution, also called Red October. Yes, it was called Red October. And all of this fits beautifully, right? Or yeah, I mean, it is beautiful and it is horrific. It fits perfectly into the fact that no one really saw what happened in the Charlie Kirk stuff. Instead, everyone started talking about the patterns that unfolded back in time. There is a retrocausality of patterns emerging in a timeless manner, spreading out all over existence, and people focus on these things that yeah, like, instead of looking at what really happened here, well, I did a conscious expression 3 4 days before it happened. And Charlie Kirk is KC. Charlie, like my last name, equals to or has etymology in Charles, just like Charlie. And my first name is Christopher, and that's Kirk backwards, you see. I mean, there's so many things. And yeah, you have the art in revolution coming from Back to the Future. My name is Christopher, and I'm born at the same date as Christopher Lloyd, October 22nd. And what I'm doing is that I'm showing evidence of some kind of information that is, I mean, I would say that there is some kind of perfection here that I'm experiencing and trying to express. I express it good enough. I express what I do good enough for the message to get through. But people don't get it, and so now we are here, right? And it's getting more intense, more like this, like no one wants it to be. And yeah, that's where we are. And yeah, that's how it is. And it's so interesting how it, like, besides from all the videos that I've done mentioning different things, yeah, now we also have this, right? Wait, I'll just see. I mean, there are many videos to see about what I did here lately, and you'll see that it makes sense. So people started focusing on this movie, Snake Eyes. Yes, it is foreshadowing what happened here, but people did it. People are doing art. The people that did. Let me explain. People. It's like I don't know why, but it's like no one knows what's going on, and I'm telling you, I know what's going on. Um, it's all about art. It's all about artistic expression. And what is happening is that artists are amazing. I'm talking about other people than me, okay? Artists are amazing. Like, for example, those that did Snake Eyes 1998 that many are talking about here in relation to Charlie Kirk. It is amazing because they are amazing. Those that do it, they connect to inspiration like that, and that's what's happening. They connect to the timeless truth of what's happening, and they like the feelings around the Charlie Kirk stuff imprint itself in all over reality as a timeless thing. And people connect to that and they express it before it happens. Because that's how amazing people are. Like many people are this amazing. And but what I do here is something else. Again, I'm acting like a catalyst for something that maybe wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have done it. So this is how it is with the art that I do. It is it is it's too perfect for being calculated. It's not that I'm calculating what should I do. No, it is more like yeah, a catalyst of something that is possible. I've been talking about it so many times, but people don't believe me when I say so. All the information that you're seeing over here, everything that I'm talking is about, are just even if it makes sense what I'm saying, it's all just a decoration over an expression of art for everything and everyone, like, and it's all just decorations, but it's still valid, it's still logical, but it is it's just I happen to be lucky to have to do like that. I find good explanations, it makes sense. And you could say that, okay, uh, some people would like to argue that, okay, I knew this, there is a conspiracy, but it's not a conspiracy, it's just an expression of aesthetics, or something like that. But I'm perceiving, I'm interacting with that perception, and I know that it's going to be like a trigger when I do that. It's something that I'm conscious about, and I know that this is how it is. I know that I know that these facts, like when it comes, like these facts are just perfect, okay? The facts that you're saying here about the connection between art in revolution and Soviet and nuclear and Red October and Lithuania and all of that. It's just some kind of perfect thing that happens to be like that, and it's like uh, but it's still rational when looking now in retrospect. When looking in retrospect, everything falls into place by itself, and it's super irritating that it is like that. Not for me, but it is irritating for people that it is like this. And that's why I don't have I don't know exactly why I don't have many listeners here, because it makes sense what I do, but I think maybe it's a combination of censoring and also, I don't know exactly, but censoring is definitely a part of it, yes. And who wants to know what I'm showing here? Even if as I said, I painted the murder scene of Charlie Kirk video 3 days before. No one is talking about it. Why? Because they are fascinated by the turbulence of patterns that just happens to be there because they must be there. Not because they caused it, but because they are ripples of the same event being imprinted like an echo. So it doesn't mean anything. It's just there, and they are innocent. Like some people are blaming Erika Kirk and so on, and her because of the patterns, they look suspicious. The logic, the rational analysis becomes a suspicion, but it's just happens to be like that, you know. And people are blaming, finding scapegoats, entirely forgetting that the the whole point of iPad Goat, the whole point of iPad Goat is to pet a goat. Become friends with the goat. Do not blame the goat. And in the book iPad Goat, you have a child having a goat as a pet, and she loves the goat. Her father doesn't. But eventually, the goat saves the day. And that's it. That's the sense moral. It's so simple. But still, people insist in finding the scapegoat, blame it. Just like I'm talking about the patterns, will show you someone to blame even though they don't deserve it. It's just the nature of reality. They don't deserve it. Me, on the other hand, I know what I'm doing and I know that things are going to happen. But at the same time, how could you blame me because I'm just doing a painting? You know. So the most important truth about iPad Goat, and maybe the reason why it's so influential, is because it has the sense moral of the scapegoat. Do not blame the scapegoat. Do not lay your sins on a goat. That's it. Um, okay. So, but yeah, in conclusion, there is a harmony, there's a logical harmony that is charming. It is charming. It is, yeah, it is charming, and you see the hammer and the sickle. The hammer and the sickle, just like it continues the theme of via the art in revolution, which is found in Back to the Future, connecting to the uh, turning point America, looking very much the same. Okay, so it makes sense. It all makes sense. And it's looking really dangerous right now in the world. Dangerous in things that no one talks about. No one talks about this. No one talks about, almost no one talks about the world news, the geopolitical danger of the world at this moment. Instead, people focus on Gaza. Gaza is, of course, a humanitarian crisis, but it is something that I consider to be secondary right now due to the tension in Iran. Israel Iran has a giant tension. You see it connecting. Also, I would like to add that when it comes to the far right of, for example, National Socialism, it's, I mean, as I see it, it's kind of the same as socialism, as the Soviet socialism here, you know, as I see it. And so you see the connection to the far right of uh, something that some people would connect Charlie Kirk to, and suddenly we have a connection there also. Again, it all makes sense, it all connects, and it's just irritating that it's so perfect. I know, but that is, it's like this is the state of mind that I am in. It becomes like this, and it is it's tough, you know. I get it, but this is still, it still makes the most sense what I'm saying. And yes, the purpose of this goat here. Yeah, okay. See you.